Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Cherished children. Yes, 7. We're so excited. 4 were baptized at the 9 o'clock service, and 3 will be baptized at this service. Stella Rose McCloy, Catherine Key Miller, and Ellery Tier Wilden. Welcome. How thankful I am for the delight of welcoming these beloved little ones into God's family here at St. Mary's. The trauma experienced in Paris this last week makes me appreciate even more the preciousness of our fragile lives here on this earth. What a miracle a baby is. It's a joy and a wonder that all those tiny parts are knit together just at the right time in the watery darkness of the mother's womb. What an incredible thing it is when the baby finally appears and we get to hold the child in our arms, whom we have prayed and longed for and loved without seeing. Surely this is one of the most amazing and memorable moments in our lives. And how wonderful today that we at St. Mary's get to share the joy of these children's lives, cherishing them as part of our St. Mary's beloved family. Before baptizing the children, our rector will pray for them to receive the gift of joy and wonder in all of God's works. The gift of joy and wonder in all of God's works. That's one of my favorite prayers in the entire Book of Common Prayer. And in a time of terror and destruction, how we all, adults, youth, as well as our baptized children, how we all need to receive the gift of God's joy and wonder. How vitally important it is for us to treasure the gift of life we have been given, so that we do not withdraw into hardened cynicism, hatred, permanent suspicion, and fearful self-centeredness. Well, I would like to share my recent experience of joy and wonder. I went to a clergy conference and we were guided in an activity called mindful eating. It was great. The kitchen workers prepared a colourful and beautiful plate of really healthy food. Red tomatoes, green peppers, purple grapes, orange cantaloupe, white and yellow hard-boiled eggs, purple beets, pale green melon, and beige chicken pieces flavored with aromatic spices. You're not hungry, are you? Through guided meditation and calming, soothing music, we were given the time and the space to savor and enjoy this feast. First, we're invited to close our eyes and thank God for his provision. We've then focused our eyes on the glorious colors, shapes, textures of the food. We then looked at our priestly colleagues around the tables, whom we had grown to love in a short space of 6 days. They accompanied us at the magnificently decorated tables with snowy white cloths graced by pretty vases of fall flowers and bright-colored leaves. Then slowly, we were invited to take one small bite of something. And we mindfully savored the sweet or sour initial taste, breathing deeply to enhance the experience. Breathe. Then we chewed each little part before swallowing the morsel with gratitude to the farm workers for the gift that they have given us. And after a few moments, we took a second bite of something different and noticed again the taste, the smell, the feel of the food on our tongues before we drank a first sip of cool, refreshing water. Now, I have to say that this mindful eating experience was revolutionary for us and rich in joy and wonder. Because so often in our busyness, we bolt down a quick sandwich at our desks as fast as possible, or quickly eat some carrots in the car driving home. Of course, I'm not talking about myself. We barely taste anything as we choke the food down. We don't give thanks to God for the gift of his provision, for those hard-working farm laborers who do that back-breaking work. Instead, we rush on without joy or wonder to the next commitment of our overstuffed day. Friends, I think that this bolting down of our food is a metaphor for our rushing through life. And that's not healthy, neither for our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our emotions. We need to take time out to pause. To pause. To relish, delight in, savor, feast on, cherish, revel in, and luxuriate in this present moment of this life that God has given us today. In her God-breathed luminous novel, Gilead, Marilyn Robinson describes the main character, the Reverend John Ames, who takes time to record for his young son his ponderings about this beautiful life, its joys and its challenges. Well, the pastor is in his 80s and he realizes he's nearing the end of his life, so he specially savors the little things He remembers with joy and wonder the precious moments of love and grace, the stunning magnificence of the acorns falling at night, the dear face of his cherished wife, whom he baptized, the glory of a full moon rising while the sun is going down. He writes about the sun and the moon. Each of them was standing on its edge with the most wonderful light between them. It seemed as if you could touch it, as if there were palpable currents of light passing back and forth, or as if there were great taut skeins of light suspended between them. In his descriptions, the Reverend acknowledges the sacredness of baptism, which he considers to be blessing. He feels the power of God pass through him as he deeply experiences the mystery and holiness of life. And so, as we celebrate this Thursday, Thanksgiving, I invite you to create space and time for joy and wonder in all of God's works. We can take a walk outside in God's creation and look for beauty and mystery, even in the most mundane of creatures and plants. Recently, thanks to this book, I even found beauty in a couple of crows. That's a first. They're raven black feathers. We can relish the bright blossoms in our gardens still. We can savor the swishing of the falling leaves, crunching underneath our feet. We can gaze in wonder and admiration at the gorgeous pink-tinged clouds as night is falling. We can breathe deeply of jasmine's light perfume floating in the breeze. And we can stop and listen for the melodious bird song while we still have it. In defiance of unseen enemies who would deprive us of fully appreciating the present life we have, we can make time this week to share love and delight with our children and grandchildren, our spouse or our partner, using all five senses and our creative imaginations. We can pause and reflect for a moment each day on the blessings that God has given us. We can laugh together as we watch our favorite movies and lighten up perhaps when our favorite sports team loses again. You see, there's so very much joy and wonder to be found in all of God's works if we only pause to see and hear, to breathe and celebrate while we can. And not the least of these joys is these beautiful three children who will be baptized now. Thanks be to God.